Alright, 2.4, another week of solving here. Last week of lessons focused on making one decision. Let's look at the four basic types of problems we faced and just review the basic ideas that we covered. Last week we learned that whenever we see this here, x plus 34, that the positive 34 is with x, and since it's being added, that we subtract 34 from both sides. And again, you didn't draw the line on the computer, but on paper you would draw a line to separate it. That the 34s go away, that the x comes down, and 96 minus 34, 6 minus 4 is 2, 9 minus 3 is 6, would be 62. And you could use calculators on that. I'm just working it out so you can see it. Another thing we saw again was a problem like this, to where the negative 19 is with x. That since this is subtraction, the way we get rid of it is by adding 19 to both sides to keep everything fair. That the 19 went away, that x came down. 9 plus 6 is 15, carry the 1, 1, 5, and 6 is 7. 75 should be the answer that you get. Our third decision had a problem like this. 8x equals 96. The 8 is with the x, it is being multiplied, and so in order to undo multiplication, we would do divided by 8 divided by 8. The 8's went away, giving us x. 96 divided by 8 is 12. And then the last one that we saw, again, x over 5 equals 12. That meaning division with the 5 being here. Since that is division, we undo it with multiplication by using a parentheses to show the multiplication. We know that that makes the 5's go away, that x comes down with 12 times 5, which is 60. This week you will be expected to make 2 decisions per problem. So, hold on real quick if you don't mind. But yeah, you'll be expected to make 2 decisions per problem. In order to make the decision appropriately, we need to remember to move what we call the weaker operation first. If you remember PEMDAS, that was week 2. That was where we learned parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. The weakest operation in PEMDAS was these 2. Remember I said they were like students. And today we're going to move the addition, subtraction first because they are the weakest. So again, after that we'll move on to whatever else is there, which is usually your multiplication, division. But again, once you get used to it, it's really not that bad. It's just making sure that you pay attention when we first start going over it. Also, make sure you copy the examples. You don't need to copy all this part because that's more of a mental thing, but definitely make sure you copy this portion of it where I actually work it out so you can see the actual proof of what you need to do. So one thing the computer is going to ask you is what values are with h, and so you find h and you say that h is with 12 and 17. What value should be moved first? This is where you must look at these two things and say this is multiplication, this is addition. Remember here addition and subtraction are the weakest, so we are going to move the 17 first. How do we move this 17? Well, that 17 is being added, so we will subtract it. What value should be moved second? Obviously it will be the 12. And notice that the 12 and the h are being multiplied, so we are going to divide. Again, those are 2 separate things that are attached to h, and each one is different. This is h plus 17, so we subtract. This is 12 times h, so we divide. And so when we actually get to the part where you solve it, you go ahead and you work out just what you said. The first thing we're going to move is the 17. And so we do minus 17 minus 17, and remember that the 17s go away. The difference is instead of just h coming down, 12h comes down with 84 left over. But now h is still not alone. Remember, we want to get h alone, so now we have to move the 12, and so what you will do is put divided by 12 divided by 12. H comes down with, I believe, 7. And so this would be your first set of boxes, your second set of boxes, your third set of boxes, and your fourth set of boxes when you go to work today. So again, move the first number the way you were taught, the way we went over and reviewed. Bring down whatever was left over, which in this case is your 12h and whatever you get with 101 minus 17. Then you move the 12 or whatever number is attached to h by typically dividing. Bring down your variable, bring down the number. Again, it's just 2 decisions. That's really all that's happening that's different, is that you are making 2 decisions instead of 1. Looking at another question, 19 minus 13 equals 59. First question, what values are with t? That would be 9 and negative 13. Again, you need to make sure you see that as a negative 13. What value should be moved first? Of course, that is the weaker. This is being multiplied, so addition subtraction is weaker, so therefore the negative 13 should be moved first. How do we move a negative 13 if it's being subtracted? Is by addition. What should be moved second, obviously, is the 9, because that's right next to it. That is a very close friend. 9 and t are being multiplied, so again we will divide. And so now at the bottom, again, this is the part you want to copy. 9t minus 13 equals 59. Again, the first thing we want to do is move our addition subtraction, and so we add 13. Add 13. 9t comes down again because that goes away, equaling 59 plus 13, which I believe is 72. We then have to move the 9, so we'll put divided by 9, divided by 9. Again, the 9's go away, t comes down, 72 divided by 9 is 8. Again, if you want to copy the boxes, that is the boxes that you will be looking at on the computer. But it's good for you to see it worked out on paper, because that's what it will look like on paper also, with the lines separating after you actually make your move. But again, we'll learn that as time goes on. Main thing right now is to understand what's being asked of you in terms of those boxes, so we can help you get through it. Another question again, 7k minus 21 equals 70. That should be a k, not a t. What values are with k would be these two. And on the computer, it doesn't matter what order you put them in. You could put negative 21 and 7. The key is, if that's a negative 21, you have to make sure you put a negative in front of it, not a positive, because that would be marked wrong. What value should be moved first would be the addition subtraction portion, which is your negative 21. How do you move a negative 21? Is by addition. The value that should be moved second is here, and the way you move that value is by, because it's multiplication, it's by division. And then we actually try it again. Copy this down for yourself if you're not getting the hang of this, so you have something to kind of look at and guide you through it. So here again, the first thing we want to get rid of is this. Notice that we don't even pay attention to the number on the other side of the equal sign except for to find our answer, so just keep that in mind. But again, this number goes first, so we put plus 21, plus 21. Those 21s end up going away, leaving us with 7k equals 91. We then get rid of the 7 by dividing by 7, dividing by 7. Again, the 7's go away. I'll show you why and next time we come around to this stuff. And you end up with k equals 13. One more example before we move on. Again, just to make sure you've got enough examples to kind of follow. Again, this should be a x, not a t. But 9x plus 12 equals 111. What values are with x? Again, the value on the other side of the equal sign doesn't even matter. And so hopefully your eyes are starting to catch that. We are looking at 9 and 12. There will be two boxes here, by the way, and you don't need to put the and. You just put one number in each box. What value should be moved first should be the 12, because remember that's your addition subtraction. And because that is added, we want to subtract. The second value moved should be the number that's right next to the number, which is your 9. And the way we move that, because it's being multiplied, is by dividing. And again, copy this down if you're having issues. This is your last example, but I think once you get to the computer and work it out a little bit, you should be able to fight your way to it. First thing we're going to move again is the addition subtraction number, which is your 12. So we're going to subtract 12 and subtract 12. We get 9x equals, I believe that's 99. Then from there, divide by 9, divide by 9. Again, the 9's go away, so x comes down. 99 divided by 9 is 11. And once again, for those who need to see the boxes, I'm sorry I didn't do that on your last one. Here is what you're looking at. So again, go ahead and give that a try again. Send me a picture of your work. Again, make sure you have all this stuff filled out when you send me a picture, because I need that to be able to analyze what you did wrong if you do that. The good news about your questions is all your work has to be on a computer anyway. So if you just send me a screenshot of that, then you should be okay. So outside of that, have a good day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.